Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Stock and Coin. These bullish trends you do not need to miss out on. You need to take advantage of them right now, or it could be too late. Before we dive into these next coins that you really need to be paying attention to, let's go over the market. So right now, today, Bitcoin is sitting at plus 1.91% for the last 24 hours, sitting at $48,602. The weekly is minus 1.33%. Ethereum's doing pretty well at 5.67% for the daily, and the weekly is minus 6.32%. Looking at Tether is at 0.03% for the daily and 0.02% for the weekly as well. Solana is actually picking back up at 13.35% plus and only minus 1.50% for the weekly, doing pretty great. Even Cardano is actually starting to make some kind of a comeback at $1.30. Plus 5.14% on the 24-hour and minus 4.83% on the weekly as well. Polkadot's also doing very well at 5.75% for the daily and minus by 5.72% for the week, doing fantastic. Avax is doing very, very well at 18.36% for the daily and minus or plus 17.77% for the weekly as well. Terra Luna is also doing great at 13.30%. for the daily and minus 9.85 as well. So a lot of these coins are actually sitting in double digits, honestly really starting to show signs that we're back into the bull market. Grab the flag, start riding that bull on up, guys. Also, MATIC, 10.67 for the day and minus 17% for the weekly as well. So all of these coins are doing just absolutely fantastic. Even Chainlink's up by 9.5% for the day, minus 8.13% for the weekly, still killing it, still doing very, very well. Axis is also at 101.75 at plus 6.37% and minus 8.65. All right, with that being said, I kind of dropped you some hints. Let's really take a look into the market, right? So our technical analysis here, we're going to start with Axis. Now, Axis is doing very, very well considering all things given. So, of course, it being up plus almost 1.20% for the daily, is starting to actually break out and run with it. So we did have that wedge kind of going down that downward edge, which really kind of signified that it was going to start going back up. So it is showing that bullish tendency that's going on. Given the fact that the next day or two it really starts going up a few points, then I think it's a really good time to go ahead and buy at the Axis Infinity. So really check out these coins. These coins are going to be much, much better than your typicals. Right, so anytime you're buying with a market cap of around 20 million or so, 20, 25 million, it's a great thing to buy into those at this moment because they're just going to grow, especially being alt season. I think Bitcoin's even recovering a little bit. So now that we're kind of getting over this hurdle, especially mid-December, which is honestly kind of not too familiar because it does kind of happen in January. So we're starting to show signs of that, at least if we're moving into a range area, right, a continuation pattern, that's always going to be better than that downward trend. Now, the fact that this is actually kind of coming back up, given the fact in the next 2 days, by the 18th, by the 19th, right, so this is actually, as long as we can keep this volume getting higher and keeping the power shifted to the buyers, we can really see some exponential growth. So this is where we want to be. So Axis Infinity is going to actually jump up as well. And also, the other one on my list is going to be Avax. Avax is just murdering it out. Today, it is just killing it. Even sitting at 4.70% for the day, it's still doing fantastic. Looking at this run that we're having, right? So we're showing a strong uptrend. And we're sitting actually in a triangle pattern. If you're not really too familiar with the triangle patterns, do get inside of that. But we are showing a continuation pattern. And that continuation pattern is looking like it's just going to go straight up. So now is your time to buy in as well, especially right now. And if you missed that dip right here, that's where, well, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's where we're kind of sitting. Looking at the MACD too, we're showing that we're crossing, and it's a good sign. The same thing when it's a bad sign that we see when it's kind of going down. For example, the 25th of November, right, we kind of cross lines there for that EMA. But it kind of crossed lines in the red, so it showed that we were going to go down. But we're coming back up into it, so that volume's coming up pretty good as well. And as long as we're actually kind of sitting up in the next day, especially tomorrow, is really going to give you more of a point. So I think we're up and for the run, which is sitting up. Fantastic time to make some money. It is a good time to buy. It is a good time to enter this market for Avax. Matic's been out of my mouth a lot lately. Matic's doing really good. I have a lot of faith in Matic and Polygon. It's also starting in an uptrend, very strong as well. We don't see the same thing for the MACD, but it's still in there, right? So we have some pretty healthy market moves going on. A good uptrend, a good normal retracement kind of going off here, and that's where we want to see. We want to see it healthy. You don't want to see it just like super sporadic, so nothing out of the normal. Pretty much the candles are staying the same, right? And it is shifting power to the buyers again, which that's where we want as well. Now the MACD doesn't quite show that just yet, but even as long as we're up in the uptrend, as long as even if it does cross here in the next before January, and as long as we're still in that uptrend for that, I think it's time to make some money for MATIC as well. So we're starting to, the whole market's starting to look like it's going bullish again, and we want that bullish behavior. So we're definitely in that bull market. Hold on, guys. The next one that we have up is Luna. I spoke about Luna several times too. The 90-day moving average as well is kind of showing some good strength of it as well. We want to see that coming in. Now we are showing a slightly looking triangle pattern as well for this. So I think it's going to be pretty great. There's going to be that continuation coming from here down. So it looks like we are actually going for the continuation upward. So it's a good time to actually buy into this market, only giving that we have about 2 days out of this. And so it's really showing that we have some strength into it. So I think we're going to start making some new highs here coming pretty soon, especially for Luna. So I would expect here before January, we're going to make an all-time high for Terra Luna. Definitely the moment to kind of come into the market, especially with it sitting up at about almost 7% for the daily, doing absolutely beautiful. When we're looking at the week even, the week's doing fantastic. Look at that candle. Absolutely beautiful. So it's really showing that people are buying into it. It looks like the volume is much, much better. It's shifting power as well. So it's definitely where we want to sit. Don't miss out on these coin guys. You definitely need to see them for who they are. When we're speaking about Bitcoin, all in all, again, of course, it's kind of coming up. It's still sitting below 50K. And, you know, I've said this time and time again, Bitcoin has that tendency to kind of sit there. Or it's going to be sitting there for a little bit, at least for the next month or so. So it's going to be a struggle here. That struggle being the fact that it's just going to kind of enter a range coming in. So once that enters that, it's just going to kind of bounce back up and down, up and down. But all in all, I think it's going to recover and pull the rest of the coins up with it. As you can see, so today, 48K. So at least it's back up. We definitely want to see above 50K as well. And Ethereum will have it as well, guys. So watch these coins. You definitely want Avax, Axis right now, MATIC. They're all going to be making big moves. Terra Luna, especially. We were talking about those. I told you before, if you caught our last video, you want to see them. You're going to want to watch these coins because they're going to pop. So that was your warning. So now if you didn't buy into those coins before then, yeah, you're kind of missing out on some really dough. All right, guys. Subscribe, drop a comment, and hit the bell for notifications. Check back with me, and we'll go over some other coins and some other news. All right, until then, thank you very much for watching and joining Stock and Coin.